Greetings, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha. This is where we take a deep dive in a journey into from becoming stuck to becoming unstuck, family. I'm so excited for us to go on this journey together. This is going to be an exciting conversation today. Our topic today is going to be on self-love, cultivating wellness. This is something that we all need to think about. We definitely need to maintain for our lives. Definitely in the year 2024, family. I promise you, you want to do something different. Have a strategy in order how to have a great way of living, nurturing love, nurturing self-respect, and honestly understanding how to move forward in mindfulness. Definitely it's going to be a great strategy, and it's definitely going to be great nuggets that's going to be shared here. Definitely for us to manage stress, understanding good stress. Listen, nobody talks about that. Actually maintaining a well-being and nurturing self-love, family. I'm so excited for us to have this conversation. It is just me today. It's not going to be a guest today. So we're going to have a cultivating conversation, family. Don't forget to subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel, and don't forget to invite friends if they have not heard about it yet. I promise you it's going to be an insightful event today, and I'm so excited for us. It's so amazing for us to connect together, family. It's so amazing for us to have a deep dialogue, to actually have resources on how to move forward in this year. And it's really, really great for us to definitely do that, family. So I'm so excited. We're going to have a couple of questions that are going to be asked from our viewers, and then I'm going to provide the answers. So I'm so excited for us to have this conversation, family. So let's go ahead and get into it. I promise you, family, it's going to be a great conversation. Let's go. Hey, everyone. This is a great time for us to come together, family. I am so excited because this is the month of April. And what is the month of April? I'm glad you asked. It is National Stress Awareness Month. This is something we need to think about. And it's so amazing for us to connect together. This month is so amazing because it was created in 1992, of understanding how we need to be aware of the different issues when it comes to having strong stress and having no way to get out of it. Just really how to really mitigate all of those issues and be able to dilute a lot of self-neglect and definitely to gravitate towards well-being. When it comes to stress, it really is something that can sneak up on you, honestly, if you're not paying attention, and really how to understand that it is a killer. Family, it is a killer, and it is something that a lot of us really don't think about until it's too late. I'm gonna tell you a story. For me, stress was huge, and became something that I was need to think about, for myself, and where I began to lose functions that I used to have always. If you understand anything about me, I'm a military person, a veteran, and I was able to run. I was able to jog, do push-ups, all those things. They were easy. Unfortunately, I began to have life happen, life be life, and as we call it, right? And I really began to put everything else, in front of my health, in my regard. I had to work schedules, had family, I had connections. All those things began to be priority versus my body, and understanding how I need to take some time for myself. I began to understand this really prevalently when I began to one day clean the house, began to cook, and I was at the sink, and I began to lose motion, and I passed right out. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what happened to me. And because I really didn't begin to listen to the cues that I was getting to really relax and really do some self-reflection on myself, I began to lose insight of something that I really needed to be meaningful and think about. I began to be wheeled to the hospital and by the ambulance, and I began to ask my doctor at that time, what is going on? Why me? When I began to ask why me, the doctor began to tell me that, I was diagnosed with one of the deadliness diseases out there. I am getting tongue tied with this story. And I began to understand that I couldn't do a lot of things that I used to do all before. I began to have to understand how to really walk the way, that I needed to walk. I need to actually be able to understand how to do the things that were easy before, like clean myself in the bathroom, and actually began to do the simple things like, eat by myself, not without assistance. That's really horrifying, very embarrassing in so many different ways. I began to go through the self denial, began to go through self regret, and began to just, take myself into a woe is me fate. Honestly, that was not helping at all. When I began to understand how to manage what was going on, honestly, I had to accept the scene at what was happening. I had to accept what was happening, and I had to begin to function and understand how to do things a little differently. I began to prioritize my time. I began to prioritize my schedule, prioritize family time. I began to understand that certain things that I used to do before, like maybe work schedules, had to be put in a different plan, scheduling. I had to understand how to begin to cope with that, and understand that not to be so hard on myself. I had to understand to always love others and understand how I can actually win, forgive myself and others. I had to go through this process, family. Mind you, I'm a coach. I actually do this, but I had to really take my own words and actually take it into account and actually put a strategy for myself so I can live. So what I'm saying all this to say, it's important for us to definitely begin to love ourselves, begin to understand how we can actually achieve anything when we begin to put ourselves first. Choose you first. Say no to anything that is really out of your bandwidth and actually stick to it. No, it's not good for you to do anything extra and think that that's going to actually make you look better. No, you know what's going to make you look better is loving yourself and actually prioritizing and say no when no means no. Right? You heard that before. So it's important for us to be able to have strategies in place for us to win. It's important for us, family, because unfortunately, so many people have not listened and they left early. So many people have not listened and the families have to deal with their loss. I don't want that to happen to you. And I promise you, I had to say yes to me. And I know we're family. So we're going to say yes together. So what I would say, it's important for all of us to love each other and always choose each other and say self-love. I always say it, everything of all of my shows, I always say, in all you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and love always. And I say that intentionally for a reason, because it's important for us to choose ourselves and choose self-love. Understand those boundaries are put in place for you to say love to yourself. It's important for you to have certain sense of self-love and self-care for yourself when you choose you. Have a sense of purpose, understanding, and falter self-compassion, because that works, family. When you do that, I promise you, you're going to truly win. So I'm so excited, family. I had to go ahead and tell you this little story of mine because it's important for us to understand how to win, how to manage stress, and understand that stress can be put in a position, because there is such things called healthy stress, but you got to get there. If you're in harmful stress, you got to really dilute that and actually change everything into a positive way. So always know that you win, always know that you belong, and always know that you are always going to be on the top. Always know that. This is Lekeisha, family. So let's get into these questions. I'm excited for us to connect with each other. Question number 1, and it's going to be exciting, family. So let's go. Let's get into it. How does practicing self-love and self-care contribute to breaking free from toxic patterns and cultivating a healthy mindset? Great question. One thing that you really can do and really can achieve in understanding this is you can nurture how you really want to live. If you want to live a positive mindset, if you want to live and have positive relationships, you have to really be intentional, set a stage, and actually think of oneself, understanding yourself and loving yourself, actually setting boundaries, put those in place, prioritize your mental well-being and emotional well-being. Really start to think about it. Think about some of those things that you really don't like. And listen, jot it down. Write it down on paper, family. I'm serious. It's important for you to do that. So when you write it down on paper, when you write down things that you don't enjoy, That's how you're able to target it and say, listen, I really don't like feeling sad today. Let me write that down. So when you write it down, you're able to tackle it and actually choose to do something different. Doing something different, like, listen, taking a moment to reflect on what you want to do. Maybe, go out for a walk, maybe go out for a jog, maybe call a friend, maybe give to somebody something that they need, do something different other than just sitting in something that you really don't enjoy. What'll happen is, if you don't tackle it, if you don't really think about it, you're going to create the same thing over and over again. One thing we think we can do different results, but when we don't tackle it, when we don't actually take charge of it and actually think about intentionally changing something, doing something positive versus something negative, you're going to be able to tackle it and actually begin to change your way of thinking. Your mindset is going to change. And listen, you're going to think about, let's say, if I need a coach, if I need to connect with somebody else is definitely going to give you some resources in order how to change it. So that's what I mean by when you actually tackle it and when you actually take action, that's how you're able to have a conversation with yourself and begin to strategize how you can actually connect with others that have achieved those wins as well too. I promise you, you're not on your own. You're not by yourself. Somebody else has been there. So open up, begin to research. If you want to research by connecting with a coach, connecting with a mentor, someone else other than yourself, if you can't achieve it on your own. That's how you're able to really, really take a deep dive of clarity and change your mindset in that regard, on understanding how you can actually begin to change the scope of negative patterns in that regard, family. That was such a great question. I really enjoyed answering that. Definitely, family. So we're going to go ahead to question number 2. What are some practical self-care strategies and practices that you can achieve in order to incorporate a daily routine to promote self-care and self-love to build resilience? I like that. One thing that I know that you can actually begin to create a daily self-care ritual, positive affirmations, mindfulness exercises, begin to have gratitude journal, and begin to have setting in place the boundaries in place for you to be effective when it comes to receiving resilience and self-care and self-love. Let's go over some of those that I just quoted for you. When it comes to affirmations, I literally enjoy it. Affirmations are really something great that you can actually achieve. If you begin to write out things that you really want to say for yourself over and over again. I am love. I am beneficial. I can do hard things. I can create a goal. I can actually achieve this success in this area. Whatever it is, begin to write it down. Those affirmations are really going to be resilient. And what it is, I will say, do them in the morning. Say those rituals in the morning. Say it first thing in the morning. Let's say when you're brushing your teeth, before you go into the office, or before you connect with family, before you make breakfast, whatever it is. And then guess what? Do it in the evening. When you retire, when you're getting ready to get up, go to bed, and actually begin to set the stage for you to plan for tomorrow. Begin to say those same affirmations to yourself before you go to bed. That's how you're able to really say it in your mindset, how you want to achieve those goals, those affirmations that you just quoted. And I promise you, you're going to go to sleep thinking about those. And I promise you, it's really going to bring in a pattern for yourself, a success. And that's how you're really going to achieve even more. I promise you're going to wake up in the morning and then you're going to be like, wow, that's really amazing. And I promise you, it's going to connect with others, are going to connect with you when you begin to do those rituals as well, too. Saying that I am wealthy, saying that I am loved, saying that I'm healthy, that I can walk, when you may not have been able to walk across the street before. No, I'm going to go ahead and jog across that street. And guess what? You may have thought you couldn't do it, but you know what? As you can't keep saying over and over again that I want to do those things, your body is going to be want to get in motion. You're going to move. You're going to move and you're going to say, wow, what is going on with me? I'm telling you, when you set the stage in your mindset, when you set a goal that you want to achieve, it's going to begin to create an environment for yourself in order to achieve those goals. I'm telling you, affirmations work, journaling, saying gratitude journals, having those in play, begin to say, listen, I am grateful for waking up this morning. I am grateful for being able to eat breakfast. I'm grateful for being able to make that breakfast in the morning. I'm grateful for being able to have friends that I can call. I'm grateful for going on the place of employment. Whatever it is, begin to write what you're grateful for. And I'm telling you, that's really going to set the stage for yourself. It's really going to set an environment that's going to be very positive for you as you begin to be intentional and set the stage for yourself in that way. I'm telling you, it's going to build resilience and love for yourself and well-being. I promise you, it will. Question number 3. How can individuals overcome self-doubt and negative self-talk over low self-esteem practices and cultivate a brand of compassion and a brand of loving yourself and having a positive image? I'm telling you, it's really going to be beneficial for you to begin to have a dialogue in that way. Begin to understand that you are loved and that you can really do great things. Having personal achievements, being accountable, celebrating those wins, begin to celebrate it and just having a mindset developed for you to begin to achieve it. Honestly, as you begin to set stage for you to begin to achieve those goals and begin to achieve anything opposite of negative talk is really going to be a win for you. I will tell you this example, as you begin to write out what you want to do, when you begin to, let's just say if you want to have a picture of yourself when you used to walk, when you used to be really strong in that area, maybe you had like an illness may have happened or you got hurt or whatever it is, begin to write down and began to look at pictures of you walking and of you doing that marathon that you used to do, or maybe of you doing a marathon that you want to do. You can be intentional on that. As you begin to look at that picture, I'm telling you, that's going to be powerful for yourself. As you begin to look at a picture of you walking or look at that picture of you wanting to walk, maybe you see someone else jogging and someone else doing a marathon, and you just keep looking at that picture each and every day. That is really beginning to create an amazing positive scape for yourself. You're going to be in motion. You're going to be encouraged to actually go out and start planning in that way. Again, I'm definitely looking up places where you can jog to, places where you can do a marathon. You're going to be encouraged to go to some of those matches or whatever it is. You're going to be encouraged to be in motion to do what you're achieving to do. As you begin to create space, a positive way, and being able to look at yourself in a positive way, you're going to be able to have great wins when it comes to that. You're going to be changing your mindset to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. That's great self-care, family. Great ways of loving yourself in that way. That was a great question. Question number 4. In what ways can self-love and self-care empower individuals to prioritize their mental health and establish healthy boundaries in relationships? I like that question. One thing that you can do is you can begin to empower yourself and recognize your self-worth. You can begin to set boundaries. You can begin to be compassionate and communicate effectively, and you can begin to prioritize and maintain your mental health with the needs of relationships. One thing about it is when you begin to set and stage and be intentional as far as wanting to build in that way, prioritizing and understanding how your self-love is important for yourself because you're intentional on it. So when you're intentional on it, you will begin to create an environment for you to begin to ensure that you can have a healthy way of looking at things. When you begin to say, listen, I need to maintain this schedule. I need to maintain this way of thinking. I really need to wake up in the morning and have affirmations in the morning. So because of that, go ahead and put it on the calendar in the morning. Be intentional. Put your clocks together. Make sure at 5 o'clock, you want to wake up for 15 minutes of affirmations. So therefore, you want to put your alarm up together and make sure it turns on. Make sure the alarm is on. And that way you'll be intentional to make sure that you won't forget. And as you begin that ritual, as you begin that process, you will begin to have an easy and a really relatable, effective, and healthy schedule and a pattern that you're going to continue to move forward versus doing something that you really don't want to do, or versus doing things that are not being intentional, but you have a mark and you have a goal and you have a plan. And that's when you have that in place. I promise you that is creating self-love for yourself. That's creating resilience for yourself. That's creating a way for you to achieve the goals that you set to achieve. As you begin to do that, write those plans down. As you begin to cultivate in a space for you to effectively achieve it, I promise you that's going to create a mindset for yourself where you're just not living, in a way that you don't want to live. Versus, I would say it's like existing. You are actually living and achieving goals that are prioritized, and that's self-love for yourself, because there's intentional. That's self-respect for yourself and loving yourself and creating a way that's going to be a win-win for yourself. And I promise you, it's really going to achieve greatness in you. You're not going to be stressed. You're not going to be anxious. You're not going to be, just overwhelmed in places where, you're just all over the place. You're actually going to be intentional. You're actually going to be loving yourself, and you're actually going to achieve those goals. There's something about self-love and self-respect, family, and I promise you, it's going to be great for you. I really, really will. I promise you it will. Question number 5. How can individuals maintain a balance between self-love and caring for others without compromising their own well-being and boundaries? Love that question. One thing that I would say, it's important for you to create a space where it's a healthy balance for yourself. It's important for you to create a space where you can say no. Saying no is not bad. When you have to say no, it's more so of saying, I am prioritizing my life and I have boundaries set in place. If I know that my bandwidth is way too much and it's go over and beyond, that's not really engaging in the right way. So if you need to say, listen, I can't do such and such at this process, and I thought that I could, but I really can't, being honest and really putting that petition out to whoever and begin to operate the great way that you need to operate. It's important for you to do that, and do it early, family. It's important for you to be able to prioritize what you desire and what you need early. So therefore, you won't be stressed. Therefore, you won't be overwhelmed. Therefore, you will not be lackful, and definitely you will have a lot more respect in that area, because others will definitely understand that you are prioritizing things right now. A lot of times others may take a minute for them to get a hold to it, because they may be used to you doing things in such a way before. But as you set the stage and actually stay firm on it and begin to consistently move in that way, I promise you, everything is going to work out for you. You're going to feel a lot more healthier. You're going to feel less anxious. You're not going to have anxiety, and you're going to feel easy flowing. And then you're going to feel like, wow, I can do anything. You're going to feel loving. You're going to feel caring. You're going to feel like doing great things. That's how you're able to maintain and have great success in that area, family. I really believe that is going to be a win for you. One thing that I would say, with all of these questions, it's really been amazing, and honestly, for us to actually go into it. It's important for us to understand that we can really cultivate self-love and wellness for ourselves and practice things in a great way where it's not toxic. A lot of times when we are having toxic patterns in our life, a lot of times it's probably something that's been passed down from you, maybe from your family or maybe from your workplace, that, you're just doing what others did and you really didn't think about it, but you realize it's being a problem for yourself. That's when you have to set the goal to understand that you're decreeing that you're going to do great things. You're going to do amazing ways of thinking now. And so when you set the stage, when you set a path that you can actually achieve greatness in this area, your rituals are going to be different. Your patterns are going to be different. And you're going to set the stage, and you're going to actually be in charge of it. You're going to be in control of it. And that's really the priority that really needs to happen, for you to be in control over your life in those areas. You may want to plan those trips. You may want to go certain things, but as you put in place and be intentional with your schedule, you're able to really have a great way of doing and building. The point is for you to build and be great in these areas. The point is for you to have a great success and be intentional about what you want to achieve. When you are intentional and when you are actually thinking about what you want to do, you're able to do anything. The sky is the limit. It really is. And you're able to cultivate and have great boundaries set in place. You have great relationships. You're able to have great ways of strategically doing whatever it is that you want to do. You're able to nourish yourself and actually nurture positive ways of thinking always as you're being intentional. You deserve to be great. You deserve to have wins in your favor. As you begin your process to understand how much you are building and how great you are, listen, family, it's important for us to be intentional. It's important for us to be determined. It's important for us to be consistent. It's important for us to always learn, always growing, always being compassionate, always planning ahead. It's always important for us. Whenever we have something written down, set in place, a few things. You don't have to have a long list, family. We always do things in great ways for yourself. Being able to write those processes down, I promise you it's going to be well for you as you begin to do those things in that way. I really enjoyed this conversation, family, for us to be intentional and understand who we are. It's important for us to embrace self-compassion and setting boundaries and practicing the things that we want to practice in the ways that we want to achieve goals in the year 2024. It's important for us to always reach the mark. It's important for us to understand that we can do anything long as we put our mind towards it. Always be intentional and actually write everything down that we want. Honestly, if you do that, I promise you're going to create a great space for yourself and create ways of thinking and living. I really enjoyed this amazing episode on the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha family. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm so thankful that you have been here with us. So lastly, I want to show you something if you have not seen it before. I have an amazing event that's coming up. This is called the Unlocking of Self-Love, and it's called the Love Again Masterclass. This masterclass is really amazing for each and every one of us, family, and it's really going to guide us in a way that is going to achieve our goals, definitely for the year 2024. So it's a 5-week course that's going to be talking about a few areas that's really going to cultivate areas in our life that we want to win in. The first week is going to talk about focusing on understanding the patterns in our lives. Week 2 is going to talk about breaking free from a lot of the toxic patterns, a lot of cycles that we have. Week 3 is going to be talking about learning how to have healthy boundaries put in place. And week 4 is going to deep dive into understanding the importance of self-love and self-care. And week 5, family, which is my best week I love, is called about taking action and implementing the strategies that we have learned over the last weeks and how to understand how we can cultivate greatness for ourselves and moving forward ahead. I really enjoy this, family, and I enjoy us being able to talk about how we can achieve our goals, family. The year 2024 is really our year, and it's really for us to begin to have a great success in it. If we plan to do it all, family, we can do anything. So I'm looking forward to us connecting with each other. Definitely don't forget to come to this masterclass, family. And it's going to be on April 27th through the 25th. And I promise you it's going to be great. And it is going to be a virtual masterclass. And of course, you can connect with it on an Eventbrite as well. Definitely, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with that. We're going to be on Zoom talking together and having a great time talking about our goals together. And it's going to be a group setting and so many people that are going to be connecting with us. And really, it's going to be maintaining great success for ourselves together. I'm just so excited about it. Family, I'm looking forward to connecting with you. You already know. Definitely make sure you come to the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family, for a great conversation with my amazing guests that I have as well, too. Definitely don't forget to connect with me on LakeishaMosley.com for all amazing resources and events that I have posted there. Definitely want to come to there. And don't forget to connect with me on the Soul Rockstar t-shirt, family. Definitely connect with me on my website as well to get your t-shirt and purchase it there. Don't forget my latest books, How to Get Unstuck, Confused to Focus, and also our Free Yourself book, and definitely all the other book resources of collaborations that I have that are in the back as well, family. Don't forget to connect there. I'm looking forward to connecting with you, family. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel, family. And don't forget to invite your friends for this show as well, too. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. You already know how we end the show. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, in all you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and self-love. Be blessed, everyone. Love yourself. Invite somebody else to the channel. I look forward to seeing you again. Blessings, everybody.